It's my birthday, so just a little bit of time to talk about video game news. Whattup viewers, what up? Calc Soups here, and today is Friday, May 6th, and hey, that's my birthday. And that means it's time for a quick recap of the week in video game news. Gotta get right through this. I got book club to get to. Anyway, we had two pretty big, actually they're pretty small games. Two small games launched this week. The first one I wanted to talk about was Trek to Yomi. This is a Devolver Digital, which is a publisher I kind of always keep in the back of my mind of launching pretty good indie games every once in a while. They've got big hits like Death's Door and Carrion that came out last year, and this is kind of adding to their kind of growing list of pretty cool indie games. This is a cinematic 2D samurai game that kind of reminds me of like a 2D Ghost of Tsushima. It's very beautiful. It's in black and white, and it's got kind of the katana combat that you know and love. The game is currently sitting at a 73 Metacritic, so I think fans of kind of like the 2D fighter, and if you're looking for a really cool and cinematic samurai game to be playing this weekend, I think this would be worth picking up. So let me know if you do pick it up, what you think down below in the comments. I've talked quite a bit about it coming out. I think I've talked about every trailer that's come out for it, and I'm very excited for Warhammer 40k Chaos Gate Daemonhunters. This is a very long title, but B, it is Warhammer 40k's kind of XCOM turn-based strategy game. I've been very excited for it. It features one of my favorite factions within the Warhammer 40k universe, the Daemonhunters, and they're fighting against a swarm of Nurgle and demons, and that's always one of the things I love about the 40k universe, is just kind of feeling very powerful and taking out demons and stuff like that with these very powerful squad of people that you can kind of mix and match, very XCOM style, that you kind of build up, and there's a whole campaign around it. So the game I'm very excited about. It is currently at an 80 Metacritic. Below I'll have a link to PC Gamer's 87 review score. Review of the game. I'm really excited for it. I love turn-based strategy, as you know. I love Warhammer 40k, especially the Demon Hunter faction. So I'm really looking forward to picking it up. So I'm excited for, like, a lot of Warhammer content's been coming out. I've been playing Total War Warhammer 3, and now I've got this coming out. Did I pick up another? I feel like there was another game that I picked up recently that was 40k, or that was Warhammer themed. So pretty excited to see more Games Workshop IP out there, and I'm very excited for this one because I love me some XCOM and I love me some Warhammer 40k. So this has been a match made in heaven, and it launched just yesterday, so just in time for my birthday. Talked about it briefly last week, but we finally got information about the new Warhammer mobile game, or not Warhammer, Warcraft mobile game. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit last week as Blizzard is slowly dripping out their games that they would probably announce in a big showcase, but they're kind of slowly dripping them out. This one is called Warcraft Arclight Rumble. It is a mobile strategy game, and it looks pretty decent. It's currently out on Google Play, and it's coming soon to Apple. I have an iPhone, so I'll have to wait to play it on Apple, but it's got like a whole campaign that you can kind of play through. I don't quite know where it fits into the story of Warcraft, but I am excited to see Warcraft entering the strategy field again. It looks like little small combat puzzles that you can kind of play through, and so I'm kind of excited for the story, and like I said, Warcraft returning to its strategy roots after being in the MMO, kind of taking over the MMO genre for the past 2 decades. But yeah, I think it's gotten kind of middling response, but it is exciting to see Warcraft return, and it looks like they're building out another mobile game. So Blizzard seems to be really doubling down on their mobile strategy. I'm looking forward to playing it when it comes to mobile. It's not quite what I was expecting. Rather than an arcadey strategy game, I was kind of expecting them to bring, I know this would probably be pretty hard, but I thought they would bring Warcraft 1 and like maybe 1 and 2 to mobile, which would have been pretty intense. But that's kind of what I was expecting, especially considering some of the art they used to kind of talk about it. So yeah, but overall, yeah, I'm looking forward to a new Warcraft strategy game coming to mobile. Let me know what you think of it down below in the comments. I think a couple years ago we heard about a game called The Day Before, and we didn't really know what it was. We've gotten to see a lot more of the game for quite some time now, and it looks a little bit like Division but with zombies. It's classified as like an MMO, so that is kind of where it's going to sit, where you and a party of people are going to go out into this kind of, again, feels very Division like, where you're going to go out into this kind of cityscape, and you're going to be hunting for loot and fighting zombies, and potentially engaging in PvP. Again, feels very Division like, especially with kind of the angle, the third person, and the way the people carry guns. But anyway, the reason I'm talking about the game is that the game has been moved because the developers are switching from Unreal Engine 4 to Unreal Engine 5. So taking a little bit of time to, well, not a little bit of time, but taking 9 months to kind of upgrade to the new engine. So they are moving from June of this year to March of next year. So taking some time, but hopefully we get a better game for it. And again, like I've said, you'll have to look up The Day Before. I'll have links down below so you can see kind of the latest trailer for it. But yeah, it really looks Division-like, but it's going to have zombies. It's going to be MMO, so you can play with your friends and go in and kill zombies and potentially fight other players over some sweet loots within malls and stuff like that. So looking forward to more on this soon. Well, I guess coming in just about a year. I was woken up Sunday, going all the way back to Sunday. I was woken up, I think, Sunday with a big sale. What I would think of as a pretty big sale. Square Enix is selling the Tomb Raider IP, Deus Ex, and the studios behind those titles, so Eidos Montreal and Crystal Dynamics, for $300 million, which compared to the $3.6 billion purchase of Bungie and the $69 billion purchase of Activision and Blizzard and King by Microsoft, $300 million seems like quite a small amount of pay. Yeah, so Square Enix is selling them off to the Embracer Group, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, this seems like quite a steal. I think Tomb Raider is still an IP worth investing in. Deus Ex is, I don't think is anything to scoff at. Not my favorite IP, but definitely a big IP that's made a pretty big waves in the gaming space. So the fact that they're letting this go for and two development studios for $300 million seems like a small price to pay. It's a seller's market right now. So I'm surprised that it's only going for $300 million. I think this is actually a pretty big steal. The article I read, that I'll have a link down below too, talks about how Tomb Raider has sold like something north of like 26 million units. Deus Ex has sold somewhere in the tens of millions of units. So these are at least unit selling IPs, and IP is king. I'm surprised that they're really letting it go. Tomb Raider had a movie recently. I don't know if Warner Brothers is still doing a second one or anything like that, but I think Tomb Raider is still kind of in the mindscape. I know it's a little bit of an older IP, but I think that there are younger audiences that would want to play a kind of female, action adventure Indiana Jones type game. And Nathan Drake kind of, the fact that they just did an Uncharted movie, so that kind of genre is still kind of out there. I'm really surprised that this is going for just $300 million. And they're selling it to the Embracer Group, which I'll have a little bit about in just a second. But yeah, I think this has actually been a pretty big steal, and I'm surprised they're letting it go for this little amount. Like I said, let's talk about the Embracer Group. This is a company that is slowly been kind of building itself up for quite some time. It's come up a lot as we've talked about mergers and acquisitions within the video game industry. And so I came across an article that kind of talked about the history, and this kind of harkens back to what I remember about the Embracer Group. So I've been kind of constantly keeping an eye on the Embracer Group. They currently own Gearbox, one of my favorite companies and developers and publishers. That was probably their biggest acquisition. But as I was going through the article, it explained kind of that they are the largest video game company in Europe, which I thought was pretty big. Yeah, I mean, surpassing CD Projekt Red, which is I guess is only has a couple games under their belt, but a couple big ones. So I was really surprised to kind of hear that. But from what I remember, they started the Embracer Group kind of switched over. They changed their name a couple years ago, or probably 6 or 7 years ago at this point. They were built from the ashes of THQ when THQ went under in 2012 and 2013. The last remaining portion of THQ was THQ Nordic, the European part, and they held onto the rights for like Darksiders, and so that's kind of how they've kind of built up their name and maintained their existence. They've also had a couple recent big games like Biomutant, and then they've slowly acquired some pretty big publishers over the years. They currently own Deep Silver, which is their big claim to fame is the Saints Row series, and they've got the new Saints Row game coming out. Saber Interactive is a smaller developer and publisher, but they currently own the Metro Exodus or the Metro franchise. They also did the World War Z game. They Asper, the company working on the Knights of the Old Republic remake, is currently falls under Saber, which falls under the Embracer Group. And like I said, their big acquisition they had was Gearbox Publishing, which included the Borderlands series and includes the recent release of Tiny Tina Wonderland. So all in all, this is kind of like I said, the largest video game company in Europe. This is definitely a company where you'll probably see more and more mergers and acquisitions. I could even see them. I was just Googling Focus Interactive is based out of Paris. So I could see them kind of swooping in and buying them for a big chunk of change, depending on how well Tiny Tina's Wonderlands does, or some of these kind of upcoming games, the Saints Row remake and the Coda remake. So interested to see kind of what they do, but I thought I'd give a pretty big explainer on Embracer, because I think they're a company that we as industry analysts got to keep our eyes on. As they constantly pop up, and so I wanted to explain them. So hopefully you found that helpful. Also this week, as it's the beginning of May the 4th be with you. I missed May the 4th, but happy Star Wars Day to all you Star Wars fans. There's always sales around May the 4th, so you can purchase the Lego Star Wars games, the Battlefront games. They're all on super big discounts, and the one I was thinking of as a huge Star Wars fan, and one of the Star Wars games I haven't played, was the campaign from Battlefront 2. I saw that was down to like $5 on Steam and Xbox. And I think if I don't already own it on PS Plus, I might buy it, because I should just really play through the campaign. I've wanted to play through all of the Star Wars campaigns and their video games for some time. I played through Jedi Fallen Order. So just trying to keep track of the Star Wars canon within video games to see what that's all about. But yeah, I'm excited for all the Star Wars stuff, especially, like I said, the Knights of the Old Republic remake. Excited to see what that looks like in Unreal Engine 5. Steam has a pretty big sale this weekend. They're calling it the Persistent Sale, which I think is a pretty cool umbrella term for what they have is the roguelike, the roguelite, the Souls-like genre, and Metroidvania. So all of these games kind of fall in the same category, where you're kind of dying and repeating and playing through the same kind of game. Metroidvania is a little bit more about exploring, but you still kind of die and repeat. And you've got genre-bending ones like Hollow Knight kind of falls into two categories, or Sanctuary kind of falls into, roguelike Metroidvania. And so they all have kind of that. I thought it was a pretty cool umbrella term of persistence, where it's just about like getting as far as you can, dying, and then persisting through. And so I usually I've recently followed Yahtzee Crosher of the of Zero Punctuation, and he came up with a new name of them for this kind of game called recursive, or rather than like Souls-like. So I kind of like that. But I think persistence is also a pretty good term. What term do you think would kind of encapsulate all these kind of die repeat kind of games, or did you call them? What was the live die repeat? What was the Tom Cruise movie? Anyway, let me know what you kind of call those games, or if you like the terms roguelike or roguelite or souls-like or Metroidvania. Let me know if you like those terms down below. The games industry is nothing if not a pile of rumors. So there was speculation and rumors this week that Nintendo is working on a Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess and Wind Waker port for the Switch, which would make the Switch probably one of the strongest Zelda consoles out there, or at least in Nintendo's history. It would have probably the largest number of Zelda games on it. I think the Wii had quite a few. They had, but with Twilight Princess and Wind Waker, hopefully these are remakes and rather than just a simple port. But again, this is all rumors and speculation, and Nintendo's got us by the short hairs, and they're always selling us the same games over and over and over again. And I could see myself buying Twilight Princess or Wind Waker for my Switch, even though I haven't gotten through Skyward Sword yet. So the game I begged for many years, so ever since the Switch came out, and then it finally came, and I haven't played it yet. So hopefully I pick that up soon, and because I never played through it on the Wii U because no one did. Yep. Last but certainly not least, this week, a local to me, high school put on a production which was a Bioshock musical. So obviously you got my attention as a musical theater buff, as well as a Bioshock superfan. This 20-minute show featured characters like Andrew Ryan and Tenenbaum and Sandra Cohen. It was set like the premise was that it was 1959 New Year's Eve, and they were kind of counting down throughout the whole thing. It was an awesomely well done. It's on YouTube, so I watched through all 22 minutes of it. It was a well done and well performed kind of jukebox musical where they kind of took a couple famous songs that you know and love, but they kind of made them Bioshocky, setting everything under the water and kind of adding to the countdown theme. Overall, the choir won a bunch of awards, and you can, after watching it, you can kind of tell that there was put a lot of effort into it. It was really fun to watch. So I'll have a link down below for you to check that out, and let me know what you think down below. That's it for this week. Let me know if you think I forgot anything. But as always, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you do, follow, like, and subscribe to me on YouTube and Twitch so you can see more great content like this. Thanks again. I hope you have a super day. I hope you have a super weekend, and I hope you have a super day. Bye! And don't forget to leave a comment for my birthday.